name's Alison, the online piano and the online violin tutor. Today is another grade 5 theory video and I'm going to be talking about composition. Now, in the ABRSM Grade 5 Theory Syllabus, you either have to write a short tune to some words, a short melody to some words, or you have to finish a 2-bar phrase from any given instrument, like a trumpet or a violin or some such. I like to teach my students the composition one, where you're finishing off, you're composing for any instrument that they obviously tell you on the exam, and you're having to write an 8-bar melody following on from the first two or so bars that you're already given. That's just my preference of teaching that. This composition video is very, very difficult, and I've had some people saying that they're really struggling with the composition, and it's normally a case of students are either going to be really, really good at it, or they're sort of going to struggle with it a little bit. But I have done some sort of checklists and some such to kind of help you guys out a bit and at least give you a sort of a basic guideline. But honestly, these are my opinions. There really is no right or wrong answer. If you disagree with what I say, then then you disagree with it. But it always works for me and my students. My students always get very high marks for these. So I know it obviously does something, but at this kind of stage in your theory career, until you get more advanced, then hopefully this is going to help you and give you some sort of idea and some basis on, how do you even begin to start to write a melody. So this is free for you to download and print out, because I've done this worksheet for you, so I'll put the link in the description, and I might have one scrolling up now. But composition. Completing an 8-bar melody for any instrument. Now, the first thing I think you need to do is work out the key and write out your chord chart. So you'll need to work out what key you're in and work out whether it's in the major or the minor key. Now, I'm assuming that you guys probably know how to work out majors, difference between majors and minor keys. But if, for example, you have, I don't know, C major, you have no sharps and no flats in the key signature, which could be C major or A minor. If it was A minor, you're going to have G sharps in it. But to sort of cut a long sort of story short, if you see accidentals in the 2-bar given melody, then you can probably assume that you're going to be in the minor key if you're not quite sure how to work that out. So, assuming you know what key you're in, I like to do a really nice little chord chart up here. Now, the Roman numerals at the bottom are the chords for each key. So I'm in the key of C, just to keep it easy. So at the bottom here, the bottom row is just the notes that are in the scale of C, and then above it are like the chords that I've done. So C, E, G is the first chord in C major. I have done a section on this. I think it was chords. I think it was grade 4 theory, so you might just want to have a quick little look at that, and that should tell you everything that you need to know. Chord 2 is D, F, A, chord 3, E, G, B. I also tell you how to do this very quickly as well. But if you put your chords 1 to 7 at the bottom in numbers or Roman numerals, whatever makes it easy for you, and then write down the scale of the key that you're in, then write out the first chord, C, E, G, and then you can just write out the scales from each one. That saves you having to work out D, E, F, G, A, E, F, G. It saves you having to work out. So if you do the first row, the first scale, write out the scale at the bottom, then comprise the first chord, and then each one is a scale, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, G, A, B, and that's a much easier way of sort of working it out. Okay. Then make your 8 bars. What I mean by that is that you're given about 3 or 4 blank staves to write on. Make your 8 bars. So give yourself, you might want to sort of fit maybe 4 bars on each line. That normally works out to sort of be near enough, depending on how big your writing is, how big your note writing is. But make your 8 bars. Don't forget to do a double bar line at the end to signify that it's ended. So divide the page into your 8 bars. That way you can see, you've got almost like a chart, you can see what you're working with. Then work out the chords of the given bars and put in the rest of your chosen chords. So it's nice if you can try and work out what chords those are in. So Have a look at the notes in those bars and see if you can work out kind of the majority of the notes, which one of these chords it relates to, and that'll hopefully help you choose the next few chords. So I don't know, let's just say bar 1 was chord 1 and then bar 2 was chord 5. It just means that bar 3, I might not want to put a 5 again, I might want to put a chord 1, for example. So it just means that you don't repeat it, and if you don't repeat it, then it just makes it a little bit more varied for you. Then start writing your melody. Okay, so these are some little hints and tips for you. Always end on the tonic note. I cannot stress this enough. So many students just do not end on the tonic note. If you don't end on the tonic note, the song is not finished. You are asked to write a complete 8-bar melody, therefore it needs to finish on the tonic note. If it finishes on the tonic note, the tonic meaning if you're in the key of C major, it's got to finish on a C. It sounds fab, it sounds great, and it sounds finished. So always do that. Ending on chords 2, 5 and 1 makes a really, really good cadence to finish on. So as you look at this little chart here, imagine these are your little bars that you've separated out on your stave. Bar 1 and bar 2 is normally given to you. Bar 3 you can stick in any chord you like, maybe a 1, stick to 1, 4 and 5s, they're really good. Bar 4, stick in any chord. Bar 5, pretty much any chord. Bar 6, 7 and 8, or bar 6 put in chord 2, bar 7 put in chord 5, and bar 8 put chord 1. These you're just putting these chords small underneath each of the bars so you can sort of see. So that makes a really good cadence to finish on. If you're in the minor key, always sharpen the 7th note. So you must sharpen the 7th note. So for example, if you're in the key of A minor, G is the 7th note. It must always be G sharp. If you don't put sharps next to any of the G's that you're using, then it won't sound minor. That's pretty much the difference between making it sound A minor or C major. So you must always sharpen the 7th note. Only really sharpen the 6th note when using chord 5. Now, that's kind of a bit of a grey area and some people might not agree with me, but you know, when you're in an exam and you're not particularly good at composition and you need to make sure that what you're writing is not gobbledygook and total gibberish and it does make sense, then these are generic guidelines that are just going to help you kind of not write a load of rubbish and make something that does actually sound slightly audible. So work out what if you're in the minor key, work out what the 6th note is. So in A minor it would be F sharp, for example. Only sharpen that if you're using it if you've got a chord 5 anywhere, like this one here. If I had an F in here, I could sharpen that to F sharp and it'd sound great. Number 4, if starting with an anacrusis, make sure your final bar has the correct number of beats in. So for anyone that doesn't know what an anacrusis is, it's normally if we maybe start on beat 3. So 1, 2, da 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 da. So it doesn't start on the first beat of every bar. So whatever beats you've got missing in the anacrusis bar, you must have the remainder in there. So you can't have a full bar at the end. If you've got an anacrusis at the start, the first bar and the last bar must add up. So be aware of that. Always use rhythms appropriate to the time signature. Now this is mainly for if you've got time signatures of 6/8, 9/8 and 12/8. They're all grouped in 3s. Now I've already done a video on 6/8, 9/8 and 12/8, and I think it was in grade 4 theory when I was talking about time signatures, I think. So they're all going to be grouped in 3s. So just go over a few things, ask your teacher, make sure that you write in groups of 3s, or you just generally write rhythms appropriate for the time signature. If you're writing 6/8 in, you know, crotchets and minims, it's going to make it feel like it's in 3/4, and then you're going to lose marks for it. Always put notes of the chord on the main beats and use passing or auxiliary notes in between the main beats. So if you've got 4 beats in a bar and you've got chord 1, C, E, G, on beat 1, 2, 3, 4, you want to be using C's, E's and G's. If you don't, you won't pick up the harmony of that bar. If you're using all the notes in between the chord 1 that you're trying to actually do, then that's when it will sound a complete mess. So on beats 1, 2, 3, 4, you should be using the notes of the chord C, E, G, any order you like. It doesn't really matter. If you want to do little notes in between that, then you can sort of do E, F, G, as long as the E comes on a main beat and the G also comes on a main beat. It just reaffirms the correct harmony for that bar. If you don't do that and you start putting other notes on the main beats that aren't in that chord that you've chosen here, that's when it is just going to sound a complete mess and sort of potentially a load of rubbish. So try and put the main beats, or the main beats of the bar need to be the notes of the chord that you've chosen. Gel your bars together, making each bar move in steps from one another. So what I mean by that is that you don't really want to end bar 3 with a B and then start the next bar 4 with a, I don't know, a G above it. It's random. So maybe if bar 3 ended in a B, bar 4 can start with a C or an A. So you're moving in stepwise, or thirds is quite good as well, but try and avoid kind of massive leaps and massive jumps, because again, it doesn't gel the bar together. If you're sticking generally to chords 1, 4 and 5, which I recommend are very good chords to use, you can use others, but then you run the risk of it sounding a little bit wayward and a little bit off. And you've only got 8 bars. By the time you've done chord 2, 5 and 1 for bars, the last 3 bars, then you've only got another 3 or so bars to fill up with 1, 4 and 5. So if you're using the 1, 4 and 5 chords mainly, then you can always find a note in the chord that is a step above or below the next note, the next chord of the next bar. So hopefully that helps you guys out a little bit. Composition is very difficult, like I said, but these are just generic guidelines. I would suggest that you just have a go at writing it and then see what happens. Don't forget that I do a theory paper marking service now, so once you've completed your papers and you want to have a go at the composition part of it, try and use these steps to help you. Have a go at it, and it's so much easier for me to mark it for you once I've got something from you, because then I can say, right, well, you know, don't do this, don't do that, use this, use that, and I can help guide you a lot more. If you just have a go at it, even if it's complete rubbish, it gives me something to work with. So I'll put all the details underneath the video, but you can always send those papers to me for me to mark them for you. You just pay via PayPal, but all the links will be underneath the description, and I can try and help you as much as possible there. So thanks very much for watching my videos. Don't forget to check out some of the other videos that I'm doing on grade 5, like intervals, major minor scales, ornaments, all that kind of thing. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you all next time.